Hi, in this video we're going to be creating a stop motion video. So I will show you what I've created here. Command enter to run my movie. I've done a little stop motion on the ride Alien Abduction. These are my guys. They were having a bit of go on it and I took some consecutive photos to actually create a stop motion picture. So I've got a little intro going there. As you can see, my little spaceship flies around, my title comes up, and then we go into my stop motion picture. So let's get started and make one of our own. So File, New. Now my stage is going to be measured in pixels. It's going to be 550 wide and 514 in height. That's because that's the size I made my photos. It's up to you. Your stage might be a different height, different shape. It depends whether you make your stage to the size of your photos or whether you want to resize your photos to portray a certain size. It's up to you. So I'll start with my stage here. So to start with, I want my stage to be black, especially for my intro. Okay, so I've got a black stage. First thing I want to do is type in some of my text. So my first text, I'm going to have the word alien. Sorry, learning to drive a mouse. I don't really want it that big. I really only want it 10. That's better. So alien. And you can choose what font you want to use here as well. This is the one I've chosen for this. Grab my pointer. I really want that word to be off the stage to start with. I also want to center it. Now you need to center it before you break it apart. Otherwise, if you try to center it afterwards, it'll turn into a nice little blob. So my word alien there, and that's going to go to 50 frames. So insert a keyframe. In this keyframe, I'm also going to have the word alien, but this time it's going to be size 200 pixels. So there we are. I will grab that. I've just changed the size of the one down the bottom. We will pop that up in here. I want that centered. There we go. There's my word alien. And if I go back to my first frame and break my little alien apart, so modify, break apart, modify, break apart. Now I can convert it into a shape tween when I do this to the next one as well. Modify, break apart, modify, break apart. Now if I run this, nothing's going to happen because we haven't put in the shape tween. Right click in your frames, create a shape tween, and there you'll see the word alien comes from the bottom, and away we go. But I also want the word abduction in there, so we'll go back to the start, first frame, and I'm going to type in the word abduction as well, make that size 10. Abduction. Problem with typing this small is sometimes it's a little hard to see. So I will grab that and I will center that one. And we'll go into this frame here and I want the word abduction here as well. This time I want it to just be 100. If I made it 200, it would go off the stage and be far too big. Abduction. Ooh. That's better. Okay. I think that's a V I've typed in there. No, it is a U. It's okay. Righto. Move this, into the center. There we go. And I might want to move that up a bit because I think I want... Actually, I probably need that just a tad smaller. So I'm actually going to make that 90 for this size stage. So center that. There we go. Break apart, modify, break apart, modify, break apart. Okay. And there we go. I have my first part of my introduction, alien abduction. Next, I am going to create my little flying saucer. So I will start off with a blue circle. That's going to be my dome on the top. Oh, I don't want an outline. Command Z. I don't want an outline. I just want to draw the shape. So my little blue circle for a dome. And then I want a little green oval And I'll just move that a little tad so it looks a bit more like a spaceship, sort of. Not the best spaceship drawer in the world. Let's just move that over a tad. There we go. And now I want, where are we? I'll just use my brush tool, I think. And, whoop, that's not what I want to do. Command Z, because I still had it selected, so it was selecting that. Let's go out of there. Go into my brush tool. I don't want it black because it won't be seen. So I want a sort of a grey. On a grey brush, please, and just a couple of antennas and a few legs for my spaceship. And again, I did tell you I am not the best drawer in the world, but that's my spaceship. So I want to select my whole spaceship. So I go back to my arrow, select my whole spaceship, and I'm going to right click and copy. And I want it to be down in here. Oh, and I want to be on another layer. So what I'll do is select the whole thing, right click, cut, and add a new layer. I need my spaceship on a different layer. He needs to be in here. Right click, paste in place. There's my spaceship back again. Okay, so Mr. Spaceship is going to start up here. I should probably call that spaceship, shouldn't I? Let's do that. Spaceship and this one, why we've got caps lock on, I don't know. This one we're going to call title. Okay, Mr. Spaceship starts off here. I want him to do a motion tween. So I'm actually going to extend that a bit. To 100 frames. Insert a keyframe and insert a keyframe. There we go. So in my first frame, my spaceship is going to be doing a motion tween. So right click, create a motion tween, convert him to a symbol. Okay. Okay, so we start off in our first frame and he's going to be there. By frame 30, I would like him to fly across the stage. In frame 60, he might swizzle back down here. And by frame, here we are, frame 90 something, he's going to come back in and end up in here. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to be seen there, so we'll just bring him, actually, we'll go back to this frame. What I'm just going to do is center him. I'm not sure if that will work, actually. Never mind, we'll just leave him there, and then in this frame, he can be gone. Okay, so delete. Excuse me. Okay, so there's our intro. We have our words coming in. We have our spaceship flying across the screen. I might actually make these a little bit curvy to make them a bit more interesting. Flying up and over. Flying up and over. And in this one, I'm going to be a bit cheeky and I'm going to make him curve around there and then end up over here. There we go. That's better. So now he flies in and curves around. Okay, I'm happy with that. So there's our intro. Words coming in, spaceship flying around, and ending up there. Lovely. Next we need to add another layer because we're going to bring in our photos. So this layer is going to be called Pick One. And what we need to do is import our photos in. So we are going to File, Import to Library. So there's all my photos. They are stored in a folder called Stop Motion Pictures. I have already resized them and renamed them. If you look in the checklist on LMS, you'll be able to learn how to resize and rename your photos. There's many different ways to do it. Choose whichever way you feel most comfortable with. So go down to our pick one. I want all, oops, go up to the top one, sorry. I want all of these photos. So open, and then if we go over to our library, we'll see all of those photos have now imported into my library. So to start our first stop motion picture, we are going to right click, insert a blank keyframe. Now you can have your background of your stage. My background of my stage is still black. That is up to you. You can change it to white if you like. You can have whatever colour you like. I'm going to keep mine black at the moment. So our first picture, drag it across and position it where we want it. Now we're going to need to be able to create a stop motion picture. We need to turn each one of these pictures into a symbol. So we do that first. Drag it across, modify, convert to a symbol. And you can call this one pick one. And make sure it's a graphic. Okay, so that's now a symbol. Next we come along, skip a frame, go to the next frame, insert a keyframe. Skip a frame, go to the next frame, right click, insert a keyframe. Now in this very first keyframe, I want this symbol to be faded a bit because we're going to do a bit of a fade in, fade out effect with each photo. We go down to alpha and you'll see that makes the picture disappear. This one we're going to leave. This last one we're going to do the same thing. Make sure you've got the photo selected. Click down on style, alpha, 0. Now on this stop frame in here, we are going to, which is your little square, that's a stop frame. We're going to right click on that and we are going to create a classic tween. We're going to do the same with this frame here, right click and insert a classic tween. So now you can see the photo starts off black, fades in, comes up, fades out, goes back to black. Next we'll add our next photo, add a new layer. This one's going to be pick 2. And we'll do the same thing again. So insert a keyframe, grab our photo, pick number 2. This is why it's important that your photos are labelled and so you know which one you're inserting. So pick 2, pop it on my stage. I need to modify that, convert it to a symbol, call it pick 2. Okay. Then we're going to do the same thing, skip a frame. Oops. Right click. Insert a keyframe. Skip a frame. Right click. Insert a keyframe. And do the same thing again. Go back here, make sure we got our photo selected, go into properties, color effect, alpha, on the very first frame, on the very last one. Again, so make sure you have your photo selected, drop down, color effect alpha, then we go into our stop, right click, create a classic tween, same on this stop, right click, create a classic tween. I'll do one more because this can be very boring for you because I actually have 21 photos, so I'm sure you don't want to see me add 21 photos. So I'll do one more for picture 3. So we go in this frame here, the next frame along, right click, insert a keyframe, go to our library, grab pick number 3, drag pick number 3 onto the stage. Center pick number 3 in the right spot, skip a frame, select the next frame, right click, insert a keyframe, skip a frame, select the next frame, right click, insert a keyframe. Go back to this stop here, make sure we have our picture selected, go back to our properties, make sure we have our picture selected. Oh, did we not convert it to a symbol? This is what happens when you forget. You have to rewind it back. So Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, until we get back to where we just have the picture. modify, convert to symbol, because it won't work. You won't be able to do the graying out effect if you haven't converted it to a symbol. So pick 3. Okay, now we're a symbol. Now we add our frames again. Insert a keyframe. Insert a keyframe. Go back to this first stop here. Make sure we have our photo selected. And there we are. Now we can select it. Change that one to alpha. Change our last frame also to alpha. Then go back in here on this stop. Right click. Create classic tween. In here too, right click. Create classic tween. And there we are. There's our next photo. So here's our first couple of photos. So I'm going to keep going. I might actually fast forward this for you so you're not bored stiff. And we'll return when I have finished the rest of the pictures. Okay, one picture to go. Create a new layer. 20. Move this along so we can see what we're doing. Insert a keyframe. Grab our picture. Last one. 20. Oops, sorry. Picture 21. It is supposed to be. Go picture 21. Slide it in, modify, convert it to a symbol, pick 21, and insert a keyframe, insert not a blank keyframe, but just a keyframe, insert a keyframe, and then we go back to here, make sure we have our picture selected, back up to properties, make sure we've got alpha. And on our last frame too, check alpha. And then on this stop, right click, create classic tween. And on this stop, same thing, right click, create classic tween. And that should say pick 21. So we'll just change that. All good. So now we should have all of our stop motion pictures. So we'll go back to the start of the jar. Press Command Enter, and we'll see how our movie looks. There's our introduction with our little spaceship flying around, and there's our stop motion we've created. Gives a little bit of an old-fashioned-y look, sort of an old-fashioned film that you might have seen centuries ago, but it's just a little bit of fun. So please, when you're making these, make sure that your consecutive photos, there isn't too much movement in between each one, otherwise it may not work, but you can see it's quite an effective thing to do. Okay, good luck making yours. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Happy stop motioning.